It's been quite the crazy week for GTA 6 news. Pre-orders are officially open, Rockstar dropped 63 new screenshots for us, and we learned a lot about the game. So today, we're going to cover 19 GTA 5 features that we know Rockstar is changing or improving upon in GTA 6. If you don't know me, I've been making GTA content for about 8 years, and I've covered GTA 6's development since the very first leaks came out in 2018. So if you're new and you're looking forward to GTA 6, subscribe, welcome in. Without any further ado, let's jump in and talk about what's new in GTA 6. The first feature we're going to talk about is gang compounds. At this stage, there's only one of these we know about with the PTT Young'uns illegal goods store, but this looks like a completely new side activity and game feature coming to GTA 6. The way Rockstar describes this activity is we're going to be raiding the compound, taking out the gang, and trying to escape with all of the loot we can get. I wouldn't say this is necessarily revolutionary for an open world game. You know, this is pretty typical for most open world games, to be honest. You break into a compound, get some loot, there's normally a bunch of them all across the map. Every open world game has a different name for it, like Spider-Man, for example, calls them strongholds that you break into, right? But this is actually a new feature for GTA, and a very welcome one at that. I know a lot of people are still holding out hope for things like house robberies as well, and we'll have to wait and see if Rockstar confirms those down the line, but the gang compounds already sound like a real return to form for Rockstar in bringing GTA back to its street-level roots. Our next feature we have to talk about is car mechanics and shops, because this time it looks like we'll have to go to different shops and different car mechanics for each type of customization that we want to make. In GTA 5, for example, you could get pretty much every clothing item from the same clothing store. Same thing goes for like the barber shops, for example, as well as the mechanic with Los Santos Customs. This is a feature that Rockstar has actually started to change over the years if you've been keeping up with GTA Online. Over these past few years, Rockstar has added different mechanics for different customizations. For example, Benny's is the place you go to for lowriders. The LS Car Meet was introduced in 2021, and this is where you put HSW customizations on for your cars. But this is something that never made it to GTA 5's story mode. With GTA 6, we've already learned about two different mod shops, One-Eyed Willie's, which specializes in off-road mods, and Ride Out Customs, which kind of seems like it's going to be a little bit like Benny's in GTA 5, where you can add detailed interiors and donk stylings for your cars. Now, who knows, maybe there is a mechanic or a mod shop in GTA 6 where you can just add every type of customization at the one spot, but from what we've seen so far, it does seem like the world is going to be a lot more alive in the sense that you got to go to different people and different businesses for different things, which of course is a lot more realistic. Another new change from GTA 5 coming to GTA 6 is the chapter system from Red Dead 2. And we learned about this with the Ultimate Edition that was announced a few days ago, specifically where Rockstar said Ultimate Edition bonuses are threaded across all aspects of Jason and Lucia's story, with new items uncovered behind each chapter. And we learned more about this, for example, with the Grotty Cheetah, the 95 Grotty Cheetah, where it said this car will be available to punctuate later stage action, which means it looks like the Grotty Cheetah will be available in one of the last chapters of the game, once Jason and Lucia have a lot more money. At this stage, it's not clear if there's going to be any time jumps between any of the chapters. We'll have to wait and see. But as someone who is a big fan of Red Dead 2's story and the chapters, how they sort of broke up the game and broke up the story, I'm excited to see this coming back. Okay, this one might get you scratching your head a little bit, thinking, TGG, what the hell are you on about? Because this is one of the most basic things you do in GTA, and that's selling cars. And in GTA 6, the whole process of this is getting reworked, assuming that it hasn't been changed since the 2022 leaks. So here's how it works today. In GTA 5, if you want a quick buck, you grab a car off the street, take it to LS Customs, and sell it. Done. But in September of 2022, a bunch of world events leaked, and buried in that list were two details that stood out: a car fence and an art fence. Now, you might be picturing an actual fence, not that kind of fence, not a white picket fence. A fence is a middleman, basically. You steal something, you offload it to the fence, and they handle moving it on to a buyer. Red Dead Redemption 2 already does this, so this is the perfect comparison. Red Dead obviously doesn't have cars, so what's the closest thing? A horse, right? If Red Dead 2 worked just like GTA 5, you'd steal a horse and just sell it to the stables, but that's not what happens. Instead, there's a dedicated vendor called a horse fence, and it's the same thing with stagecoaches. You steal one and there's a specific stagecoach fence who's the only person that'll take it off your hands. So it looks like the days of running to the nearest LS Customs for a quick buck might be done. We'll still be able to sell cars, obviously, just not at the mechanic anymore, and honestly, I think that's a pretty neat change. Speaking of grabbing cars and flipping them, one of the absolute core pillars of the series, I mean, it's literally in the title, Grand Theft Auto, the way you steal cars is most likely changing too, which is kind of nuts because this mechanic has stayed basically the same across the entire franchise. In GTA 5, you yank someone out of their car and you drive off. For parked cars, you just smash the window, you hotwire it automatically, and that's it. But again, assuming that Rockstar hasn't changed how this worked in the 2022 leaks, this system, yet again, is going to be changing. Because in the leaks, we learned of two items specifically tied to car theft: an immobilizer bypass and a slim Jim. The immobilizer bypass looks like it's for the higher end vehicles, the newer ones, and the Slim Jim seems like it's going to be for older cars. From what the leaked events list showed, this is shaping to be some kind of quick little mini game where you use the tool to steal the car. I don't expect it to be tough. I mean, you usually want to steal a car pretty quickly, right? But the interesting part is you can actually fail the mini game. So if that's remained unchanged in the past few years since it got leaked, yeah, that's going to be pretty funny to see. Next, we have to talk about one that I'm pretty hyped for, maybe more hyped than I should be, and that's all of the enterable interiors and fast food spots. Walking into somewhere like Cluck & Bell and ordering food was a fan favorite in older games, and if you did happen to catch those 2022 leaks, I'm not going to tell you where to find them, but they are still on the internet. You'll remember the Hank's Waffle Diner robbery with Jason and Lucia. That clip confirmed that these restaurants and fast food joints are going to be back, and we'll be able to walk inside, order whatever we want, and naturally rob the place if we want to. That slides nicely into the next feature, and that's the upgraded robbery system. Honestly, there's enough here to split into a few points, but we're just going to keep it under one. When you rob somewhere like a diner, there's a lot going on now. For starters, a lot of these stores have more than one register, so there's more cash to grab, but you've also got pedestrians inside, civilians that you have to manage. You'll need to aim at them, get them on the ground, and there's a full NPC interaction system exactly like Red Dead Redemption 2. In Red Dead, you can walk up to people, antagonize them, threaten them, and rob NPCs if you want, and you'll be doing all of that in GTA 6 as well. When Lucia points her gun at an NPC in the leaked clip, you can see the options rob, threaten, and there's one more that we can't make out. There are 3 in total, but the third one's cut off. If you compare that to a GTA 5 store robbery, the difference is night and day, right? If we look at Red Dead 2, again, you have to interact with nearly everyone involved. Some hand over info, some you have to tie up, some you have to question and lean on or beat up, and all of that is coming to GTA 6. And as the robbery wraps up in that leaked clip, the cops show up, except they don't appear instantly anymore. That's another change. The police actually take time to get dispatched now, which is a nice touch, which actually leads me into the next couple of points on the police systems. You can now surrender to the cops if you want. In GTA 5, the surrender system is clunky and weird, and in GTA 6, yet again, it's going to be a lot more like Red Dead 2, where you can physically walk up to an officer and give yourself up if you want. The next feature we're going to talk about is police descriptions, another one I'm really excited about. Yet again, no surprise, this is another Red Dead 2 feature that's already been confirmed, shown, and improved in the GTA 6 leaks. In Red Dead, if you kill an NPC, the police don't just teleport on top of you. A witness has to actually see the crime and then report it to the law. And of course, if you've played Red Dead, you know that you can intercept that witness before they actually reach the cops. But there's another layer to that. What you're wearing and what you're driving actually affects how well the police can ID you and hunt you down. So if you're wearing a mask or cover your face, they won't know exactly who they're after. Now in GTA 6, Rockstar is taking this even further. When Jason and Lucia are driving away from the Hank's Waffle Diner, the moment Lucia gets spotted, a message pops up on the top of the screen saying the police have a full description of her. And that's because she's not covering her face and she's just out in the open. Then they hop into Jason's car and another prompt appears. It says, any vehicle you're seen entering becomes known to the law. Both of those are huge upgrades over GTA 5. If the cops never see which car you get into, they don't know what to look for. So if you're smart about it, cover your face, take out the witnesses, and the police might never actually identify you. Alright, next, let's talk about the changes to the drive-by shooting mechanics. Yet another really important part of GTA. In GTA 5, it's fine, but it's a pretty basic system. Your character just sticks an arm out the window and shoots. But go all the way back to San Andreas and it was a totally different thing. Your character would lean your whole body outside the car. You'd also stay in third person and be able to pretty much shoot 360 degrees. That's how it's shaping up for GTA 6 as well, much closer to the San Andreas approach. We actually saw this in the 2022 footage where a dev was testing it out as Jason, so cool to see it making a comeback. The next one is a long overdue feature in GTA, I think, and that's shoulder switching. Not much to elaborate on here. This one's straight out of Red Dead Redemption 2. You can now swap which shoulder you're aiming over, which is pretty neat. The next movement feature we have to talk about though is carrying bodies. And again, we have to go back to the 2022 leaks to learn about this one. After Lucia drops one of the civilians in the Hank's Waffles robbery, you can see that she gets the option to either loot or pick up the body. So just like in Red Dead 2, it looks like we can loot every NPC, which is great, but being able to move bodies is the real game changer for stealth especially. Because if you played GTA 5 or GTA Online, you know stealth can be a bit of a nightmare sometimes. So being able to clean up and move bodies out of sight is going to be a massive upgrade. Speaking of stealth, we're going to talk about security cameras and how they're changing. In GTA 5 and GTA Online, the second you cross a camera's line of sight, you're instantly made, right? But in one of the 2022 leaked clips, you can see Jason sneaking through what looks like a gang hideout. In fact, it actually could be one of the gang compounds that we learned about in the latest news drop, and he's using cars as cover, basically. A camera catches him though, but instead of every every single gang member knowing exactly where he is like they would in GTA 5. Instead, one of the enemies starts moving towards his last known location. So in theory, we're gonna have to see how this works out, but in theory, you can actually bait enemies into going where you want them. The GTA 5 system, where one camera just gets a 24/7 tracker on you, that is so annoying and so unrealistic. So I'm really glad it's changing, and hopefully it means stealth is way more fun this time around. Next up, we're gonna talk about two features in one. We'll probably keep them as two features, to be honest, but we're talking about one of the biggest memes in GTA history, keeping a rocket launcher in your back pocket. In GTA 5 and a bunch of previous GTAs, you can haul around like 100 weapons, right? No idea where they go, but you can use your imagination to think where our character is hiding these weapons, and you can pull any of them out whenever you want. That looks like it's done in GTA 6. Instead, it looks like it's going to work pretty much the exact same as Red Dead Redemption 2. Not quite identical, but close. Now again, we're talking about the 2022 leaks yet again. In those leaks, we did get to have a look at the weapon wheel. Of course, it's a work in progress and not done yet, but this is what those fan recreations of the leaks look like. And honestly, it looks nearly identical to Red Dead's system. So here's how it works in Red Dead. You can't just stroll around with 100 weapons. Instead, you get your one-handed weapon, a pistol. You can also bring a melee weapon or throwables, and you can also only hold two-handed weapons at a time. Now, just this past week, we actually learned a lot more about where we're going to store these weapons, which is our next feature, and that's weapon crates and weapon lockers. Last year in 2025, we got this short clip where it looked like Jason and Lucia were pulling weapons out of a car trunk, and this makes sense because in Red Dead 2, of course, you would store your heavy weapons or all of your weapons on your horse. So it looks like we'll be able to store weapons in our cars, but we might need a weapon crate in there. So in the pre-order Ultimate Edition bonus information that we just got, we know that a bunch of our properties are going to have weapon lockers inside them, so we can change our weapon loadout before we leave our safe house or garage. But we also learned that certain vehicles, like the Shih Tzu Squalo, for example, is going to have a weapons crate in it. So this pretty much confirms what we were expecting. We're going to need a weapons crate inside our vehicle, and that's where we're going to go back to sort of change our loadout mid-mission, potentially. The only thing that's not really confirmed is if every vehicle is going to have a weapons crate in it, or if that's something you're going to have to add after the fact. Next, I want to talk about healing, because GTA 5's system is pretty bare bones and a little odd, to be honest. In GTA 5, you heal by eating snacks, and we already know that's going to be changing. Food and drink still look like they're in the game, and you can spot them in the items and tool lists from the GTA 6 document, which of course was created from the 2022 leaks. But you'll also see things like trauma kits and painkillers. And this is where it gets a little bit murky and a little bit confusing. We don't know exactly how the healing will work just yet, but it's clearly going to be a lot deeper than just munching snacks. Maybe food and drink will give you a little bit of health, while serious damage needs painkillers or trauma kits, or who knows, maybe it's something like Red Dead 2, for example, where food and drink fill up your stamina, and trauma kits are going to be for health. It's too early to tell for sure. All we know is it's being reworked, which is pretty exciting. Okay, the next two features we have to talk about are your character's appearance, especially how it's going to change over time depending on what you do. In the latest batch of screenshots, we saw Jason and Lucia look completely different in every single photo. And because we saw so many different photos of them, this is the first time we got visual confirmation of one of the features everyone has been expecting for a long time, and that's the weight system. In several of these different screenshots, you can clearly see Jason in particular has different amounts of muscle mass. So this confirms something that we've kind of already known about, but it's good to see it in the flesh, and that's that your character will gain or lose muscle and gain and lose fat depending on what you eat and what you do. And this coincides with the next feature I want to talk about, and that's all of the side activities. Because you might not know, if you haven't been keeping up to date, we have a bunch of confirmed side activities already. In last year's screenshots, we got gyms pretty much confirmed here, with Lucia doing boxing or cage fighting here, as well as Jason quite literally working out on the beach. So one of the most requested features ever in GTA is coming back, and that's gyms. But that's not all, because we also know of a ton of side activities that are going to be in GTA 6, and most of them weren't in GTA 5. So just the side activities that we already know about are things like hunting, which was very in-depth in Red Dead Redemption 2, so I'd assume it's going to be just as, if not more in-depth in GTA 6. Fishing, yet again another fan favorite from Red Dead 2, which I'm sure is going to take a step up here considering how big fishing is in Florida. But it's not just that. The screenshots and trailers have confirmed a bunch more, including basketball, which we saw in the screenshots last year, kayaking, which was completely officially confirmed this past week, but we know that we're going to be able to get our own kayak. Mini golf has been confirmed, pool has been confirmed, off-road racing will be returning, scuba diving is going to be coming back, and seemingly a lot more in-depth. You can see in the screenshot we got earlier this week that there's a scuba suit on the boat with Jason and Lucia, as well as tennis has already been confirmed as well. So a bunch of side activities there, most of which weren't even in GTA 5. The next feature we have to talk about is is a pretty awesome one, and that's classic car collections. From what we understand right now, the one car collection we know about is locked behind the Ultimate Edition for GTA 6, which I know a lot of people are upset about, but we're going to talk about it anyway, and that's Wyman's car collection. A lot of this was actually leaked in the 2022 leaked clips and game events as well, and it looks like it's taking inspiration from something like a Forza Horizon barn find, but a little bit more in depth. This one's more like a treasure hunt. So it seems like there's going to be classic car parts and collectibles across the map that Jason and Lucia are going to have to collect. It looks like we'll then have to bring those parts back to Wyman, and once we have all of the parts, Wyman will build the classic cars for us. We already saw what 5 of these cars are going to look like in the screenshots. As I said, we don't know if there's going to be more cars to collect for Wyman, or if there's going to be other car collectors across the map that we can collect parts for. We'll have to wait and see. But even if it's just the one, I think this is awesome. This is long overdue for a GTA, and it's a pretty creative way to get new cars. And there you go. There's 19 features that Rockstar is either adding or improving upon from GTA 5. If you enjoyed the video, again, leave a thumbs up, subscribe for more stuff like this. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Boys!